everyone. Welcome to the Seeds of Success podcast, hosted by Dottie San Martin and myself, Orly Rivera. This show is your weekly dose of knowledge, insights, and actionable tips to transform centers into striking successes. Whether you're a seasoned industry professional or just stepping onto the lanes, we've got you covered. Dottie, I am very excited today. I think so. We have a guest, but before we get to that guest, I have to say this is the furthest guest we've ever had, right? How many miles do you think it is? Where they're at?
No idea. I don't know, but I know it's a lot of hours in the air to get over there. So yes, Orly, I too am very excited. Listeners, today we have a colleague of ours from Bologna, Italy. Jelena, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, it's absolutely our pleasure. Can you tell us a little bit about how long you've been with Cubica AMF and what you do?
So it's been a lifetime. I've been working in Cubica AMF since the year 2007. So I think my soulmate is with me like some months more than me working here at Cubica AMF. So this is a real relationship we're having here. And I've been working at the reception, firstly, and then we went more in depth. I started introducing social media as I was the younger one, right? To the Cubica AMF, and actually we started with social media and all digital communication, and then when my duties were passed to the marketing office, I went more into tech and website building.
Yes. And, I have to say, it really is a pleasure to have you on the show, because I think from the very beginning, we've been working together. So it's really nice to have one of our colleagues from our Bologna office in the studio today. So we welcome you. You're the first. We hope that we have many other instances where we get to have you on the show. But, you now are in a very, very interesting role, and our paths cross a lot. And you mentioned that you are now working with the website. So very exciting, because times are really changing. And it's so important that, well, first of all, we all know how important a website is, right? It is absolutely, it is your doorway to the world, right?
Exactly. If you don't have a website, you don't exist in the internet.
Exactly. But if you have a doorway to the world, but that door stays closed because you're not allowing people to get in, it's worthless, right?
Yes.
So that's a little bit about what I want to talk to you about today, because you spend a lot of time researching and developing and making sure that the Cubica AMF website is a website that is for the people, that is welcoming them in, that is being informative and is answering all their questions. And, there's this little thing going around right now called AI.
Yes.
That has kind of like turned everything upside down for a lot of people, right?
Yes.
We have to look at AI, and we really have to future-proof our businesses against AI. And we have to make sure that we are building up the framework so that we are supporting AI in our business, right? Let's talk a little bit about that today, because it's super interesting. It absolutely blows my mind to think what AI is capable of, but it's something we really, really need to be aware of. And you are great at it.
Yeah, it's another one of those things that's, you hear this a lot, but it's kind of like you have to kind of get with the times. You're going to get left behind. And I definitely feel not only is it here, but it kind of came fast at us and is being used for everything. Just a quick little thing I saw yesterday, a graduation, high school, I think it was high school or college graduation. They had kids had some kind of scan code on their phone. And then when they would get to up to the top, they were getting it scanned, and the AI voice was reading their name. So yeah, it was so literally, it's everything. It's taken over everything. So yeah, again, if you're not with the times, you're going to get left behind. So
that Absolutely. Is well, Jelena, I know that you have been doing some really creative things with websites, and you shared with me a while back the different things that we need to be aware of when we're building websites. Can we talk a little bit about that today?
Absolutely. Well, one thing that you mentioned already, we should be answering people's questions on our websites, right? So what do people search, especially for a bowling center? People
Mm-hmm.
search for is this center open? What can I do in this center? Where can I have, or even not specifically, but what is the best place in my town where I can go and do this with my friends, or I can have fun with, we are 10 people. People are more creative right now with the AI. They ask really specific questions. So like,
Yes.
we're 5 people, 2 of these are really experts in doing this and that. They really love action. What can I do? So everything that responds to that is proposed by AI. AI analyzes content of each website in that area and sums up the information and provides them 3 to 5
Mm-hmm.
examples, right? So it's not SEO anymore. It still is a good way to promote your website, like search engine optimization, because you still need to write good content with keywords. But if you're only putting there some keywords, but you're not answering your customers' needs,
Exactly.
then you're not being found by AI. And it was not an issue until maybe a few months ago, until Google haven't implemented AI in their search. And even I catch myself reading AI response first and then going to the results.
Absolutely.
Sometimes AI response is enough for me. So
Yeah.
AI is really to take an eye on and do something proactively now to be compliant with the AI searchers. First of all, they have to read your website. So it
Yes.
can be readable.
Right. And the other thing is, a lot of people will put words, they'll put them on a nice, pretty little graphic, and they'll, put their hours up on this really pretty little JPEG.
Yes,
Let's not do that anymore, right?
exactly. So JPEGs and PNGs are great for print.
Yes.
Great to do some artworks that you need to share with somebody or send via messaging. But if you need to put your information on your website or even on Facebook page, right? Many centers have Facebook pages. Use that information box and write it down. You lose this amount of time and you gain a lot of customers.
Yeah.
How many times where you're like, you wouldn't go to a place because you couldn't see their opening hours, because you would say like, I'm not risking it. So many young people are now not afraid, but are not willing to put themselves in the game on risking it and not being able to do something. They're just going somewhere where it's certain they can have fun, right?
So, right. They don't want to waste their time getting there to be. But, the other thing is, don't be afraid to be very specific when you're prompting, right? That was one thing I really had to learn, because I was thinking it needed to be just real high level. But the more specific you are, the more accurate your information is that you're going to get. I'm going to give you an example. I was looking for Neoverse today in my area, or in this area. And I know it's here, but I wasn't able to find it. So that tells me that it's not being listed specifically on the websites. And so for me, I knew, but I would have just said, oh, it's not in this area. I can't go experience it, right? Because I wouldn't have gone there. I was looking specifically for something. So don't be afraid. People do recognize brands. When people are wanting to go find some place that serves Coca-Cola, they're going to put in Coca-Cola, right? They're not going to put in soft drink. They're going to put in Coca-Cola. So make sure that you're being very specific.
Yes, so there is a internet joke around this, especially for creative agency. They say that AI is going to steal our jobs. And then, have you ever found a customer who knew what they wanted and was specific enough to ask them? We are fine. We are safe now.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. I was going to, just like with other things, when something comes in and it kind of works on its own, a lot of people always get worried and like, oh, it's going to take our jobs, it's going to do that. But it's like, no, you have to think of it more as it's here to help you. If you use it in the right way, it's going to help you, and it's going to help you, grow your business or just expand on what you're already doing. So yeah, people, they can't be worried about it. They have to use it to their advantage. And if you're not using it, if anything, you're going to get left behind, and then you'll lose your job that way. But you got to be able to use it and show that you can use it. So,
but it helps you work smarter. We've said it before, work smarter, not harder. It allows you to do more in a shorter period of time. And more so for me, sometimes you just get stuck, right? You just get stuck. And it's so frustrating because you can't find that one word or you can't find that one phrase. You know what you want, you know what you're looking for, but you can't think of it. AI is beautiful for that.
I like to think of it almost as, us, even as a group here, we did brainstorming before. And, if it was up to me and Dottie and probably Elena, like we would like to brainstorm more and work together all the time, but you can't always work together. So in a way, if you think about it, AI could almost be like that extra partner that's there to help you brainstorm and give you some other ideas.
I was going to say it's a personal assistant / your friend. When you want to resolve a problem, you would describe it fully, right? My concerns are, this is the issue I want to solve. Like, what are the steps or what is the thinking process I should start to solve my problem? Can you ask me questions? That's the fun thing of AI is that, like, for example, ChatGPT or other AI systems out there, if you don't know what questions you have to ask AI to build up something, anything to brainstorm, you ask AI to ask you the questions to arrive to the right questions. So brainstorm, like ask me some questions to analyze my answers and help me define the questions I should be asking myself to get better.
Yes.
And it helps a lot because it gives you clarity. It helps you considerate all the points of view you might be missing because you're thinking about only one thing, and it helps you think about all the other 9 things you have to be thinking on that topic.
Last week we had chatted and you had shared a couple of things that I thought were really interesting uses of AI beyond the business. And of course, there's so many things just within the business of being able to look at your cost of goods and find ways that you can, save money, and scheduling and energy bills and just so many other ways that you can be efficient with running your business. But then you also shared with me, and of course I've had to try it a few times already, like meal planning.
Yes.
I had never thought about that, or budgeting. Never thought of it.
Yes, It can analyze your spending, like year spending or monthly spending. You just feed it to AI and ask, where could I save some money? It's not 100% right. So it might tell you, just cancel that subscription. For example, Disney Plus subscription, right? And you have like 3 kids watching movies every day. And you say, no, that's not the subscription I'm canceling, but thank you. And it helps analyze and see. And maybe you say you can feed it also some local market data, because it's not like it knows 100% where you are. So you can say, I live in this city, it's this big, like considering the expenses of that place where I could save some money. So it can provide really great strategies, something to think about. It gives you ideas.
Yes. And you said something very important. It's not always 100% accurate. So I want to make sure that listeners realize this is not a replacement for your content. This is something to spark additional conversations, additional questions. It is always to be checked, filtered by human knowledge. Don't rely on it 100%. Use it just as an assistant.
Yeah. I think of it as an assistant. Sometimes I think of it as a staple. You still need your body and your legs to help you walk with the staple, right? So this is my thought. So it's a great staple, but you still need to put on your physical work in it.
Yes, I completely agree. Well, do you have any other words of wisdom that you would like to leave our listeners with as far as making sure that they're future-proofing their business for AI?
Yes, sometimes when searching for AI tips on future, like you can ask AI, how can I future-proof my business on the internet? AI can give you these 10 ideas. A few might sound good to you, but you don't know where to implement them on your website. One small but funny tip is implementing FAQs. You can use that information, implement this on your website, your social media, or use it even as a social campaign. And this might drive curiosity or to your website or elsewhere. And even if it's not a content that fits any of your structure of any platform, FAQs are usually fun things to share with people, and they work all the time. They don't have structure, different questions, different answers.
Yes, for sure. And again, don't be afraid to be specific. When you're answering those questions, it's okay to be very specific. Even down to back in the day, there used to be certain alcoholic beverages that were like trending. And it was funny because people would search looking for places that had that specific brand, right? And people thought I was crazy because when I would set up the website, I would make sure that people could find me. If they're looking for a Jägermeister machine, I'm going to know, I want them to know I have a Jägermeister machine. That's something that, so you got to ask yourself, what is my customer looking for?
Yeah, I found one bowling center website actually that has the bowling center, having fun, and so on. But the first phrase kicked in. It said, best Bloody Mary in town.
It's important.
Right?
Right? Best partners in town, right? You want to know those kinds of things.
I think it's among the latest design awards centers. Just some hints here and there, so you can search for it on AI.
For sure. Well, to me, those are all super, super relevant for us to know. And like you said, Orly, if we don't stay up with these trends, we will be left behind. And ultimately, it's going to have a very negative impact on our business if people continue to just skim over you or not find you when they're searching. And we know people are relying on AI to do their searches now.
Yes.
Right? We just saw a statistic the other day that's coming in number 1 over Google search. So, people are turning to it because it's easy. It's accurate most of the time, and they're able to feed in exactly what they're looking for. So, you know what? You get up with the times, you educate yourself. There's plenty of ways to educate yourself on AI. There's definitely not a lack of resources available.
One great thing is you can ask AI resources to educate you on AI. You can ask AI to train you on learning simple basic things. And also there are plenty of free courses and YouTube videos around AI. And sometimes even there are government free courses to the professionals that are accessible for, depends on the area you're at. Mm-hmm. So actually there are really many resources out there. Just search for it.
And you know what? The best way really is to play with it, to try it, right? There are free AI resources that you can just go in and you can prompt different ways. You can try to get the results you're looking for in multiple different ways, and you can find out for yourself what works, what doesn't work. Right.
And also, if you don't want to lose time and saying, I don't have time for these games. Okay. You have a bowling business. So play with AI around your bowling business needs already. Yes. Ask some questions. This bowling center in this city and put the name of your bowling center. What is this special about? What's so special about it? And let AI tell you the story about your business.
Yes.
That's funny because you will see how people on the internet see your positioning. How do they see you? How do they evaluate your business? And then ask, what are the best places to go bowling around me? And the AI will suggest you this and why. And then you can apply this knowledge and try to think and structure your content on your website. So all the great things people might do in your bowling center are highlighted here and there, so AI can read it and suggest it to the other people searching for it.
Yeah, and you could use those negative points. For instance, what's the best bowling center around? And let's say it says, well, this center's the best and it's not yours because they have, curly fries and video games. And you might be like, okay, we need to start getting curly fries and video games because it's, that's maybe what people are looking for. Or if you see something that's not listing, it might say, this center doesn't have this, and you're thinking like, yeah, we do have that. Maybe you need to highlight it more on your websites or wherever. That way it's coming up.
Great point. Great point. The other thing that you can do is you can leverage AI for, like in your restaurant area. What's trending? What are people asking for? What packages should I put together? Things like that. Those are great things to give you ideas of how you can put new things on your menu or package things that you offer in your center in an appropriate way.
I know that we as Cubic MF already are great in helping our customers promote their seasonal offerings, but with the help with that and help of AI, they might really create a great planning like for full year round, support it with their content, with their special content, and they might have even special menus based on seasonality, special events, special offers like combined. How do you talk to people in that specific time of the year? What do you have to highlight? Even sometimes we think we know everything, but then you ask once, it analyzes everything, and then it can help you. Like, what do businesses do in my area in July? What are their offers? How should I adjust my offers to that so I can win against them?
Yes.
I know what I'm going to search today. I'm going to search, is there a podcast about bowling and AI? And hopefully we pop up, right?
If not, we got work to do, right?
Correct, right keywords to position this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, Elena, we thank you so much for being on the show. We hope that we hope this has been a good experience for you and you'll consider being a guest again. Thank you very much. And thank you, listeners, for being a part of today's episode of Seeds of Success. With decades of industry experience, we're honored to share ideas, strategies, and trends designed to help entertainment centers like yours thrive and grow. Together, we're planting the seeds for a stronger, more successful future. Share this podcast with your team and industry friends, because the more seeds we sow, the greater the harvest. Until next time, let's continue to build success, one happy guest and one incredible experience at a time.